Catherine, Duchess of Kent, passed away on September 4, 2025, at the age of 92. The announcement came from Buckingham Palace, which confirmed that she had died peacefully at Kensington Palace, surrounded by her family after a period of ill health. Her passing marked the end of a long life lived at the heart of both the royal family and her own private circle. She was the wife of Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, and for decades she played a steady and important role in the life of the monarchy, balancing public duty with personal faith and family devotion. She had become the oldest living member of the royal family following the death of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022, a distinction that highlighted her longevity and her quiet resilience across generations. On the evening before the funeral, her coffin was carried from Kensington Palace for the final time. It was placed into the royal hearse, a specially designed vehicle created in consultation with the late Queen Elizabeth II. The hearse, with its large windows and glass roof, ensured that the coffin could be respectfully seen as it made its journey through London. A military piper from the Royal Dragoon Guards, the regiment the Duchess had supported as Deputy Colonel-in-Chief since 1992, led the first part of the procession. Members of the regiment also served as the bearer party, carrying her coffin into Westminster Cathedral. These moments were solemn, rooted in tradition, and carried deep symbolism, not only acknowledging her position, but also her long support of military service. At Westminster Cathedral, the Duchess's coffin was received for a private vigil. It rested overnight in the chapel of the Blessed Virgin Mary, where immediate family gathered. It was during this moment that Lady Helen Taylor, the Duchess's only daughter, was seen walking arm in arm with her father, Prince Edward, Duke of Kent. Lady Helen, aged 61, supported her 89-year-old father as the family stood together in grief. The image of father and daughter side by side carried powerful meaning. It showed a daughter stepping into the role of strength for her father, and it highlighted the closeness of the Kent family during such a painful farewell. The Duchess's funeral reflected one of the most significant decisions of her life, her conversion to Roman Catholicism in 1994. That choice made her the first member of the royal family to convert publicly to Catholicism in more than 300 years. It was a decision she made with conviction and one that guided the arrangements for her funeral. She had expressed the wish that her Requiem Mass be held at Westminster Cathedral, the center of Catholic worship in London. The service, led by Catholic clergy, brought together her faith, her family, and the ceremonial dignity of her position. For her children and grandchildren, this moment was not only a royal farewell, but also a deeply spiritual one, in line with the beliefs she held until the end of her life. Senior members of the royal family attended the funeral, including King Charles. Queen Camilla, who had initially been expected to attend, was unable to be present due to illness. Buckingham Palace explained that she was recovering from acute sinusitis and could not attend the service, though her thoughts and prayers were with the Duke of Kent and his family. Other members of the royal family filled the cathedral pews, joining the Duke and his children, George Windsor, Earl of St. Andrews, Lady Helen Taylor, and Lord Nicholas Windsor, in remembering the Duchess. The Requiem Mass followed Catholic tradition, with prayers, scripture, and music marking the service. After the Mass, her coffin was taken by hearse to the royal burial ground at Frogmore on the Windsor estate, where a private burial was carried out away from public view. Across Britain, tributes poured in. The Prince and Princess of Wales released a statement early in September, sending their condolences to the Duke of Kent and his family. They signed their message W&C and spoke of the Duchess's tireless work for others, her dedication to charitable causes, and her love of music. They described her as a much-missed member of the family. Political leaders also added their voices. The Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, praised the Duchess for bringing compassion, dignity, and a human touch to all she did. His words echoed the sentiments of many who had seen her as a figure who balanced royal duty with warmth and humanity. Personal tributes from her grandchildren and godchildren gave another dimension to the farewell. Lady Marina Windsor, one of her 10 grandchildren, called her a mama in affectionate posts on social media. She shared vintage photographs of the Duchess, including images from her youth and her wedding day, and thanked her grandmother for her love, friendship, and laughter. Lady Amelia Windsor also paid tribute, sharing an old photograph with a red heart, a simple but heartfelt gesture. India Hicks, the Duchess's goddaughter, remembered her as an involved godmother, one who never forgot a birthday or Christmas. She shared a childhood memory of receiving a gold cross from the Duchess on the very day of her grandfather's funeral, which had coincided with her 11th birthday. These memories showed Catherine not only as a royal figure, but as someone who touched lives personally, remembered details, and offered kindness that left lasting marks. Beyond her family roles, Catherine had a legacy of charitable work. She supported numerous causes. With a particular passion for music and young musicians, she helped establish and back initiatives that provided opportunities for young people to explore and develop their musical talents. Her charitable commitments reflected her belief in using her position to make a positive difference. While she gradually withdrew from royal duties in 2002, her earlier decades of service left an enduring record. She remained a quiet but steady presence at major family occasions, such as the weddings of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge in 2011 and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in 2018. Although in later years her ill health limited her public appearances. She did not attend Queen Elizabeth II's funeral in 2022 or King Charles's coronation, underscoring her declining health in her final years. One of the most moving parts of this farewell was the tribute from her daughter, Lady Helen Taylor. As both daughter and mother herself, Lady Helen's words carried weight and deep emotion. She remembered her mother not only as the Duchess of Kent, but as Catherine, a woman of warmth, faith, and guidance. In her tribute, Lady Helen described her mother as the center of their family, someone who taught resilience, kindness, and humility. She recalled her mother's unwavering support, her gentle humor, and the quiet strength she showed both in public life and at home. Lady Helen said that her mother had been an inspiration to her children as well, always encouraging them to be true to themselves and to value compassion above all. Her words painted a picture of a mother who, despite her royal responsibilities, always found time to nurture and care for those closest to her. Lady Helen thanked her mother for a lifetime of love and guidance, calling her not only a beloved parent, but also a lasting example of integrity and generosity. The image of Lady Helen walking arm in arm with her father during the vigil reflected these sentiments. It was more than a public appearance. It was a daughter stepping forward in loyalty and love, supporting her father through grief and standing before the coffin of her mother. Lady Helen symbolized the unbroken bond of family. Her tribute, combined with her presence at her father's side, ensured that the Duchess's farewell was as much about family strength as it was about royal ceremony. The final chapter of the Duchess's life concluded at the royal burial ground at Frogmore, where she was laid to rest in a private ceremony. Only her family were present as her coffin was committed to the earth. It was a quiet ending to a life that had been lived at the intersection of public duty and personal conviction. On the day of her funeral, flags were lowered to half-mast at royal residences across the country, marking the nation's respect for her service and her memory. Catherine, Duchess of Kent, will be remembered for many things: her role within the monarchy, her courageous decision to convert to Catholicism, her commitment to charitable causes, her love of music, and her warmth as a mother and grandmother. Her death marked the end of a long life, but her influence endures through the family she raised and the causes she championed. For Lady Helen Taylor, the funeral was both a public farewell and a deeply personal goodbye. Her words of tribute captured what statistics and ceremonies cannot, the human side of Catherine, the love she gave, and the lessons she left behind. That is the memory that will remain, both for her family and for all who knew her work and her character.